I actually grew up in a Christian home. I mean, my parents are, they're devout Christians, always have been. I kind of grew up in the church. Grew up like any normal kid in the church. So I've always known about Jesus. I've always knew Jesus. I actually got baptized when I was 11. Do I fully believe that I was saved at that point? I don't think there was the life change to prove it. May have been doing it for the wrong reasons. I was young, impressionable, wanted to, not necessarily just please my parents, but it was the thing to do when you were young and in church. And then, of course, my actions later on in life obviously proved that I wasn't saved. I was a little rebel teenager. I fell in with the wrong crowd. I partied. Wasn't involved in church. I mean, I still went to church on Sundays because my parents made me. But I was never. I didn't do much towards church during high school. And it was really after high school that you could say I totally turned away from church, and any walk that I did have with God or knew about God, I kind of steered away completely. When I was 24, I'd actually moved to Beeville, Texas. That was not long after I'd moved to Texas. I'd moved there for a career choice, to work in the same craft I work in now. And really that was supposed to be kind of the start of my career path in life, and probably should have been the start of a good life, but I chose to take a different path with it, I guess. When I moved there, I didn't know anybody. I kind of moved away from my family. I moved away from my parents. Thought everything was going to be awesome. But the way I handled being alone, I guess, was where it all took a turn. Just went home at night, I was by myself. I had my dogs, they were great, but what I did instead, I turned to alcohol, and that was my comfort at night. Every day I came home from work, made sure I had some alcohol. I drank until pretty much I went to sleep. And I mean, that went on. After that went on for, years. And it basically came to where I was just doing it to pass the time, feel better in the evenings, to where, if I was a full-blown alcoholic after a while. My body depended on it. It got so bad to where, I couldn't even make it through a full day of work without starting to have withdrawals before I got home from work. I always knew that was the wrong path. Like I said, I knew who God was. I knew that wasn't the path I was supposed to be taking. So there's multiple times I tried to quit on my own, but because my body depended on it, it made me so sick. Like, I made it through the sickness, and then I'd get right back into it. Like, I didn't have what I needed to stay sober. I went to a few detox facilities, got it out of my system. I was sober for a while. But I always fell right back into it. I had gotten sober before I moved over here, and I was doing good. And I moved over here for, once again, job, same career path. I wanted to try something new, refineries instead of oil field. And I kind of fell back into the same where it started. I moved over here knowing nobody. I got lonely, and I started drinking to pass the time again. And I knew right away that, that was going to take me right back down the same path I was on. I was a functional alcoholic. I still went to work. I still met people. I made friends still, but I was still just dependent on alcohol after that. It was too hard to get back out. I knew that my only way back out was going to be through God. I knew enough, and I trusted that path enough to where one night I had gotten drunk. I got and I got sick. I got just miserable. It made me depressed. It was no longer helping. It was just making me depressed. And I searched for a church. Like, I didn't know this area. So I just Googled Baptist church near me, and Fellowship popped up. And that was the first one that hit the list. And that weekend, I came to Fellowship. It didn't all of a sudden just get better from there. Like, but I truly think that was the start of where God started to repair my heart and tried to repair things, because that was the first step, getting back into the church. Then I met Kim, and we started dating, and I actually started bringing her to church with me. And I don't think she knew at the time how bad alcohol played a part in my life, or else she probably wouldn't have gone down that path in the first place. But I had her fooled, like I had a lot of people fooled. And probably 99% of this church doesn't know anything about my past, my story. So me and Kim started dating for a while, and coming to church. And Julian actually reached out to us when he was the music minister, and he taught our Sunday school, or the growth group, and he noticed me because of my tattoos, obviously. I stuck out in the church a little bit more than some, and he reached out to us, and I truly think God did that on purpose, because Julian, not the same past, but Julian shares a very similar past of mine, with struggles with addiction. And with that, we started going to growth groups. I mean, we started getting even more involved, but yet I was still drinking heavily. Like, nothing stopped there. Like, besides me coming to church, that's not where that life change happened. And I knew it wasn't. I knew something else was going to have to happen. But it actually, it got worse, to be honest. It went downhill pretty quick. My drinking got worse. My condition got worse. My body didn't start taking it as well as it used to. Started getting very sick. But every time I tried to quit, I'd get even more sick because of the withdrawals, and I would try to do it on my own, and it just never stuck. It basically came down to where I was losing it all. Like, I was hitting my rock bottom, and it was all just piling up real fast to where, me and Kim, we actually got engaged. I proposed to her a year after I met her, and why she said yes, I don't know, because she knew I had my problems, but thank God she didn't leave me at the time. But when things started getting worse, and I was starting to be very unpleasant to be around. I was trying everything to not be a grumpy old drunk, but it comes with the addiction. And like I said, I was starting to call into work, or I wouldn't make it through work. I wouldn't make it through the day without drinking. I would leave work and I would drink. I just not tell anybody, I'd just leave. And fortunately, I got away with it for a while. But it finally got to that point where I couldn't hide it anymore. And at that time, it snowballed to where Kim, no fault to her, it's all my fault that she actually ended our relationship. The engagement was off. And then at that point, we were living together. She had asked me to leave. I left. I drank. I hit rock bottom. I didn't want to live. I didn't know where to go from there. Like, honestly, I struggled with depression, because that's all alcohol does for you if you're in that state, is just make you depressed. And it took me to some nights where I just didn't. I'm grateful to be here today because of some of those nights. Once I truly hit that rock bottom, I knew right then and there, like, it's either curl up and die or do something different. And because I have such wonderful, God-fearing parents, like, they live 5 hours away, but they were willing to drive over here and, I mean, snap your fingers to help me. That's, even though they didn't deserve anything I put them through, but they were going to do anything to help me. Like I said, that one night, I fell off so bad, I called and I decided to go to rehab the next day. I said, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore. So my mom actually came and picked me up. Kim was actually willing to see me at that point because it's all she wanted to see was something change. Like, she couldn't be with the person I was, but if I was willing to take the steps to not be that person anymore, she allowed me to come see her before I left because I needed it. I was scared to death to go to rehab. I ain't ever thought I would have to be there. I was going to have to be gone for over a month without being able to talk to anybody. I was just going to leave my job, like, and hope for the best. Went to where she was. She gave me a hug. We cried it out, and I made my way there. Like, and was up in Waco, side of Waco. It wasn't somewhere close. Like, it was. So I'm very blessed with my parents. They found me one that it was a nicer ranch that was just it was a good place to go. And they knew I wouldn't want to leave it. Like, if it was some rundown place, I'd have been like, nah, I'm out. Like, so they worked hard. They did their research, and they found one in Texas that they knew I probably wouldn't run away from. And it was out in the middle of nowhere, so I couldn't run away from it. That's where God really revealed himself to me. I mean, and he revealed himself to me in a way like it was slap you in the face kind of revealing. First couple of days there were obviously detox. I mean, I was so bad off. They had to get it, like, I had to get the alcohol out of my system. My body had to heal from it. I was just sick. I mean, you're in a room by yourself, just, going through withdrawals and being miserable. And that's what I did for the first couple of days there. But after I was better, then they allow you to go out with all the other people. I mean, it's a big group of guys out there. Everybody's got their problems, so fortunately I wasn't the only one there. But after being there a couple of days after that, all I could think about was, man, am I going to be able to go home to a fiance? Is she going to take me back? Am I going to have a job? What's my life going to be like after I just ditch it for 30 days? I don't know what I'm going to... So that's all I could think about. Instead of being able to focus on getting better and changing my life around, that's all I could think about. And I knew that wasn't going to help anything either. If that's all I could think about while I was there, then it just wasn't going to work. So there was one night before I went to bed, I got on my hands and knees, and I laid it all on the table for God. I prayed. I just said, God, this is all in your hands now. I was like, I've got nothing left. All I could do was ask him that he takes those worries away so that I could focus on him and his will and getting better. The way he responded was, it couldn't have been any better. It was... I hadn't slept that good in so long, I can't even remember. And when I woke up that morning, I woke up with just the clearest head. I haven't had that sense of comfort. I can't remember the last time I was that calm about something. He wiped it all away, all my worries. He just took everything away at that point, and it was like he said, no, you focus here. Focus now, and whatever's out there we'll take care of. I've never felt something like that, and he just revealed himself at that time because I believe it was truly because I was willing to hand it all over to him. Still sucked being there, but he made it better. I was able to share that story with some of those guys there. and I was able to share God with kids there that never even thought about believing in God. Alcoholics, the program that they teach is, you believe in a higher power. Well, obviously I know it's God, but I always told them, I made sure it was very clear that, y'all say higher power, I say God is the one in control of all this. And it just allowed me, even though I wasn't prepared to share anything about God, because I myself was lost as could be, it was like he was just using me at that moment. He said, you're going to hand everything over, and now I'm going to use you. And I was just talking about God. I didn't try to bash it into people saying, no, you got to, this is all God. I was just like, well, my higher power is God. God is the one doing this. And I believe God's doing it in you right now too. Whatever you believe, I believe it's God. And a lot of them listened. And I was able to share God to them when, I didn't even think that was possible. And to see them they came to me and asked me more about Him. And I was like, I'm not no expert, but I can tell you where I'm at right now. And I'm willing to just give it all. So I was there for, I think it was a little less than 30 days because they cut it short. Something happened there. And so Kim actually drove the 5 hours to come get me. She came, she picked me up, we hugged. Everything felt right again. So we come back, this wasn't all easy after that, wasn't just perfect because I went to rehab. There were still other things I had to work on, and I knew God was one of getting back into the church heavily and, continuing to rely on God was the biggest part. And Kim, she tagged along right there with me. Fortunately, like I said, Julian and Melissa were huge after that. They ended up being some of our best friends. Julian knew all about my problems. He was one of the few that knew everything I was going through at that time. He actually may have been the only one in this church for a while that knew. So him and Melissa, they started from baby steps with us, and they worked with us. We did discipleship with them. We did, of course, every Sunday growth group with them, and then we started building that closer relationship with them. After doing that for so many months, and we actually ended up getting saved at their kitchen table. Me and Kim decided we're ready to give our lives to God completely. Turned around and got baptized on Easter. There were still struggles in there, of course. I'm always going to struggle with it, probably. It's just God's equipping me now with, the strength and the guidance that I ask for all the time. I'll never not need Him to give me more strength to fight off urges or whatever it is. Life happens, you get upset and just want to turn to a bottle, maybe, I don't know. But God's changed my life and Kim's life so drastically that I don't have those thoughts anymore. Once in a blue moon they'll come in, but God has really just tried to remove that from my life. And if it's not removed completely, He's given me what I need to turn away from it and turn to Him. Thank God, I found fellowship. I found family and fellowship. This church has grown to be this is our family here. This is all I know for this area besides work and hunting, is fellowship and what we do here. That's the path I had to take to get here. I wouldn't change it. I don't know if I would have ever been this close to God if I didn't have to go through that.